Yo, what's going on, internet? What are you doing? What's going on a Wednesday night? I just got back from some important meetings that I had to go to, so no concrete pour tonight, unfortunately. But on the upside, it's a great opportunity to answer some questions because Victoria is busy doing Victoria stuff. So we're going to answer some questions. It's too late to go start the concrete pour, honestly. It is too late, and it's been freakishly cold. I mean, not to say that it's scary cold in Seattle. I don't live in Seattle anymore. I live in Tacoma now. It's not like freakishly cold, but it's dipping down to about 40 degrees at night. So that is not optimal. It's not an optimal temperature for overnight curing of said concrete. So hopefully I'm going to do tomorrow night because it says the overnight low was about 45, 46. So a couple degrees can be the big thing that I'm looking for here, and I got the heater running, so hopefully I can get the surface temperature to be about right. You don't want anything below 40. 40 is pretty much the cutoff point. Anything colder than that's generally going to be an issue. So although I synced up the audio last time by visual, I didn't have any audio off the computer. So if anybody noticed that, I noticed it, and it got weird by the end of the video. But let's run through some of the newest commentary and talk to a couple of people out there. Oleg Rushtov. Okay, I thought I explained it in the last video. I don't want to sound like a weirdo here, but he was talking about the floor drain, and I think I answered it in a really weird way, and I want to try and get some clarity here. So the side of the building, there is a slope from like this side down to this side. So if I did have a big overflow from the sumps or something like that, like if I left a water source on or whatever, that's where my emergency drain would drain out that side of the building, if that makes sense. I didn't install a floor drain. I didn't hammer in and go that route because realistically, if I was going to go that route, I would end up, hooking into the sewer main here, which means if I was hooking into the sewer main, I'd add a sink, toilet for pooping, always important, and whatever else plumbing-wise that would needed to be out there. And we're just not at that upgrade point right now. It would have been too much of a project with digging up. Basically, our driveway is a huge gravel bed, if that makes sense. We have this huge rock driveway. It's not asphalt or anything like that, but digging that all up would have been too much to do, because at that point in the ground where the sewer main is, it's 9 feet deep. So I would have had to gone all the way down 9 feet, and it would have just been too much material, too much time to do all that. But at some point in time, we will do that. And speaking on that subject, maybe I should start a GoFundMe to see if I can come up with $140,000 for a remodel on my garage or a brand new building. And I bring that up because URU Joey has had a GoFundMe up, and I have to say he is the nicest guy. I've had very little interaction with the guy, but he's always been super nice. Love his videos, love what he's doing, and I'm super conflicted right now because I've just gotten done doing a major remodel, and I am very well versed in what's going on, but I'm very conflicted right now in regards to the budgetary situation that's going on, that it was $140,000 to build that garage for his new fish room. This raises all sorts of alarms for me because building a brand new building outside should probably cost between $24,000 and $35,000 total for someone else to build it for you. And that's kind of freaking me out. I don't know if this has bothered anybody else, but I just popped into my head that if we were going to tie into the sewer main, we would end up rebuilding the building. We would end up pouring a whole new foundation and doing a whole brand new building, and we're not ready to do that right now because we didn't have a $20,000 budget. So, and sorry, conversationally, that just popped into my head, and that whole situation is, I'm so happy that he's gotten the funding to help him out and make sure that he's good to go. I just really wonder what's going on that it cost $140,000 to build that building, because it costs less than $140,000 to build a brand new house from the ground up, let alone just a garage building. And it's just weirding me out. I don't know. Is it weirding anybody else out? I just find it odd. It's whatever. I love the guy. I love his videos. And like I said, I'm super conflicted. I hope, or I'm like super happy that he got it, and I'm just also wondering why so much money. I don't know. It's odd. It's weird. I don't know. I find it weird. Anyhow, whatever. It's Wednesday. Let's go on with some other questions, or not questions, or whatever they are. You're taxing my brain, says it hurt the thumbnails. Well, I got a new good one for this video, I think. Boom, 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 and I gotta scroll through them here, so bear with me for a second. Oh, everyone that gave the shout outs to Victoria. Speaking on Victoria, she painted the other coat of the gray, which I will be shooting a video of tomorrow to show you the overall layout. We didn't pull the tape down yet, so I'm gonna pull the tape down and then show you guys the overall layout, because there's the white walls, there's the light gray walls, and then there's that brown gray color wall, and I think it works pretty well. I guess I'm gonna hear from you all whether or not the design on the paint was good or not. But the only people that really matter, whether we like it or not, is me and Vicky, and I think Vicky likes it. I'm not sure. I've got mixed results in regard to that. Aquatic House was saying, looking forward to the build and setup of the racks for your tanks. I'm looking forward to it also. I can't wait to get a lot of the stuff going on. I do have concerns because my tanks have been sitting in a truck out there, and I really was thinking about it this morning. If anything is really damaged, I just don't know. I don't know if anything is really damaged or not. When my crystal shrimp all died, we honestly like kind of slowed down the timeline of what we were working on to make sure that we did everything in that room out there correctly, instead of moving a tank in right away. So I'm really concerned about a lot of my plants. I'm concerned about the tanks having been in that truck for so long. They're all tied down with straps and stuff, so I'm really concerned that something may or may not be broken, but I don't want to really like address that midweek when I have a lot of other work to do, like work-wise. Derek Runyon. I don't know. I want to say his last name on here is Reunion, but it's Runyon. I don't know. It's a hard one for me to say. But Derek says, looks great, man. Keep up the good work. How many tanks do you plan on setting up in the room? I think tentatively 5 large tanks is what's going to be in there. There'll be the 240, the 180, the 110. The 75 obviously isn't like a real large tank. It's not super huge or anything. And then there's one other tank that I'm forgetting right now. The 240, the 180, the 110, the 75, and something else. I don't know. I can't remember what the other 5th tank is, but those are the first incarnation of what's going to go on. I do long-term have a plan to, or well, not a plan, but I have a hope to be able to upgrade to all just 120s around the room, honestly, and just fill out the whole space with 120s, and then be able to change them out and do things and wire in all the sumps together. That's the long-term goal, would be honestly to find the 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot acrylic tanks that are 120s. Those would be the long-term tanks to be that I'm keeping an eye out, and maybe there'll be a big deal out there. Who knows? But all of the good tanks that have come up, I found a 240 came up for a super screaming good deal. One of the local guys here had one, and somebody else bought it before. Like, I mean, I responded to his post like 11 minutes after he put it up, and somebody had already responded and was going to buy it, or had PayPal'd him the money or something. And that would have been awesome to have two matching 240s, because it was the exact same dimensions. It was the 2 foot by 2 foot by 8 foot. It would have been awesome to have two of those, but that didn't work out. George had that one for sale, and I was unfortunately able to get it. All about DIY. I was sad that I'm being close to finished. I want to remind you, because he messaged me a little while ago and said that we have a lot. I do have a lot more videos coming out these days. And honestly, I have a lot more videos coming out these days. This is my goal, to be, if not uploading every day, close to every day, and doing much longer podcasts. We're going to be doing a lot, podcasts. I'm saying podcast because that is part of what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing some long form podcasts with Alan and Derek and maybe Old Lady Jean and some of the really interesting people that I know. George might be one of those guys, but I have a bunch of people lined up to start doing long form podcast type stuff where, in person I get into these really long conversations with people, and I would like to be able to start transcribing these into a real thing. So that's a big part of the studio here. Maybe at some point I'll start meeting up with some fish people. I bet Potato will come up. I know Matt Weber and I will probably do Skype podcasts back and forth where we talk about 3D printers or pit bulls or whatever weird crap we always talk about. So if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. I am really working hard on developing and doing more and doing more and doing more, and realistically not just making just videos about fish, but of course I'm going to be doing that stuff all the time, and really just getting into production mode and getting a ton of stuff up there. But that's what I got going on for today. Now I need to go to bed so I can get up tomorrow and do a bunch of work all day. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night, and hopefully I will have the concrete pour done and have that all ready for you all to check out, because as soon as the concrete's done, it's trim and door, and we are on the right track. All right. Later.